Namaste and welcome to the weekly meeting of Essence of Knowledge online program. This program is available and for free for the seekers of the path of knowledge. As you know, in these meetings, I try to answer some questions and we also conduct activities of the program. So, if there are any questions, you are most welcome to send them here. There is a question by Nana. So we'll start with that. She is saying, when we say experience and experiencer are one, we understand there cannot be any experience without the experiencer. Same goes for dream and dreamer. Experience is because experiencer is there to experience it. Please elaborate more on this. As you know, and as you have written, the relationship between the experience and the experiencer is of oneness. It is not accurate to say that one is because of the other. That is not accurate because that means the relationship becomes of cause and effect. One is not being caused by the other. But sometimes we say this. Probably you must have heard this from me also, that there is any experience at all because there is something to experience it. This is said like this, which is not totally wrong, but it is not accurate. This is said usually in the response to a question like this, that what will happen to the experience if there is no experiencer? Something like this. And you can see that it is a newcomer question. The newcomer has still not realized the oneness. So some questions can come like this, that the world exists even when there is nobody to experience it. This is very common sense argument. Then we try to answer this doubt and we try to draw the attention of the seeker to their own direct experience. That was the world experienced without the experiencer? Anytime in your life, any time in the history? Or is it even possible to experience the world without the experiencer? Without there being anything to take that experience? And the answer comes out to be no. So it is proven then that the world is existing without any perception of it is only a concept in the memory. It is built on the past experiences. The whole world is built upon past experience, which is stored in the memory. It is not entirely false that the world exists when we are not looking at it, but it is unknowable. What exists will be unknowable. You can know the memory of it. And yes, you can conclude that there was something. Because of such questions, sometimes it is said that there is something at all to experience because there is another aspect in the existence which is experiencing it. Without that power to experience, which is the experiencer, nothing will be experienced. So it is said to emphasize the interdependency of experience and the experiencer. Although they are not dependent, they are one. But in the beginning, when the oneness is not yet realized or there are doubts in the mind of the seeker, some clarification is given like this. And this kind of language is little bit inaccurate, but is enough to convey the point that all we see is experience, and the experience and the experiencer are never seen without each other. You cannot confirm their existence without both being present at the same time. And there is no apparent distance between these two aspects, which should be very obvious, which should be self-evident, and therefore they are actually one. Second argument that is given is, in order for the two aspects of the existence to exist independently of each other, one must be seen without the other. One should disappear completely and still something should exist. And then we can say, yes, Rightfully, it is the truth because it did not disappear when the other disappeared. There are only two aspects, experience and the experiencer. So we should be able to find an experience without the experiencer, which is impossible. And we should be able to find the experiencer without there being any knowledge of it, without there being any experience of any kind. But that is also impossible. So they will always be seen together. You'll always find them together. And this is not surprising because they are one. Like you cannot find wave separate from the ocean. And you cannot find an ocean which has no form appearing on it. It is impossible. I hope, and that elaborates about this statement. So this statement is actually trying to tell that do not expect to find experience separately. There is no such thing. It is very paradoxical and it is very hard to believe that there is no body, there is no world, and there are no objects, there is no universe if nobody is looking at it. It is very hard to believe it. But on the path of knowledge or in non-dual philosophy, it is not said that there is no world when you are not looking at it. It is said that you cannot know what is there when there is no perception of anything, which is true. And since that perception also changes, without looking you can say that everything is changing, and that means that it is all false already. Hopefully that adds a little bit more clarification. But if you want to know something specific, you can ask. If there is any doubt in your mind, if you could not understand something regarding experience and the experiencer and its relationship, you can again ask. Okay, Radha has some question. A question out of pure curiosity. Read the whole para altogether till end. Okay. Even after realizing who I am, the one beyond the mind, beyond all that can be known, the quest doesn't stop. I still feel this deep curiosity. How, why, when? What's the reason behind all this? Even the way I came across you feels like part of some mysterious design. I understand that the experiencer, the true self, cannot be known like an object because it is the one through which everything is known. And yet, the urge to explore, to understand, to go deeper, it's still alive. So my question is, should I simply make peace with this mystery? Or is there still more to discover in this infinite field of potential? Can something be found where the seeker dissolves? No more questions come in. I am deeply curious to know. Yes, curiosity is a very good thing. I always encourage more exploration. Even though the path of knowledge has given some answers, our program has given you a lot of answers. But as you said, there are still some interesting questions that are remaining. Is this grand design? Is this all pre-planned? Is there something more? Is it possible to find something more than the claims of the path of knowledge? Remember, they are simply claims. It is the job of the seeker to verify its truth. The path of knowledge gives you the tools to find it. So I always encourage, if it is mysterious, go and find the mystery. Yes, there is infinite potential. So there is infinite knowledge here. There is infinite things to discover. Although we say that it is all illusion and therefore the knowledge of it will be illusory, but that is one point of view, isn't it? That is one philosophy among hundreds of philosophies in this world. Remember that the rest of the 99 philosophies do not agree with non-dualism. It is one among hundreds of viewpoints. It is always encouraged to find more philosophies, to read more books on the fundamental questions. The path of knowledge says, or the Advaita philosophy or non-dual philosophy says that the self cannot be known like an object. But you will find 20 more philosophers of different paths who will tell you that it is an object. And this is how to find it. They do this. It is not that path of knowledge has a monopoly in the field of philosophy. The word path of knowledge is very wide. So all kinds of philosophies come under it. But as you know, traditionally, we focus on non-dualism instead of teaching you all the varieties of philosophies and then coming on the non-dualism. We start with non-dualism. Everything is one. And that is just one style of teaching. That is just one path to explore what is existence. So many people will tell you exactly opposite sometimes. That the experiencer is some kind of illusion produced by the brain and the world is independently true. This is exactly opposite of non-dualism. So go and explore, because if experiencer is being produced, it is an object. It is an experience of some kind and you will get it. So always open-minded curiosity with little bit of skepticism. Skepticism is needed because we should not simply accept every philosophy as the final truth. A seeker does not simply accept, okay, today I was studying non-dualism and it is said like this, everything is one, this is illusion, this is truth, I am that, Brahmasmi, final truth. No, this is final according to the path of knowledge, not according to the rest of philosophies. According to them, something else is final. So a seeker has the choice here. The seeker is free to explore. Even after getting all the answers from the path of knowledge, from this one guru, from this one book, from this one path and one tradition, the seeker is not limited like this. Even after getting all these answers, if there is still a desire to explore, yes, go ahead. Explore all other philosophies, because there are too many. You can categorize them in 2 or 3 categories and then you get an overview of what others are saying. Basically, in India at least, there are only 2 categories of philosophies. This is strange. There are non-dual philosophies and there are dualistic philosophies. End of the story. But in European countries, there are more categories. From the Indian philosophical point of view, under the non-dual, we have Advaita Vedanta, which is the greatest, I think, which is the most important. Then we have Buddhism. Then we have Jainism, Sikhism, Shaivism. It is a non-dual philosophy. Then in dualistic philosophies, there are some more like Sankhya philosophy or the Vaishnavism and many more. Yoga, yes, correct. Yoga. Although the yoga word says union, that means in the end only one should remain. And it also says Kaivalya. These 2 words are central in the yogic philosophy. Then there are more philosophies which are all in dualism, where the world is treated as truth. All the experience is actually true. The criteria of truth are totally different. It is interesting if anybody wants to explore. In the West, yes, non-dual philosophies are there, like the Hermetic philosophy, Gnostic philosophy. And in Middle East, Sufism, it is a non-dual philosophy. Probably I'm forgetting many isms. And on the extreme, we have materialism, which is just like Sankhya, where the matter is the final truth. So the seeker is not limited to one point of view. You should go and explore all these categories. I told you 2. They are major. 2 categories are major. And in dualistic philosophies, there are further subcategories. So existentialism and the Stoic philosophy and Western Tantra, occult philosophies. Many are there. Even Far East, your Taoism and I don't even remember all these names. There are hundreds. So what I suggest is that don't try to read the original material initially. Get a book which covers most of the philosophies. that don't pick up the biggest book on some philosophy, because it is a waste of time, isn't it? Get something which gives you an overview of all the philosophies. Then you can choose, okay, this one looks promising, this one is totally stupid, like this. And then you can dive deeper. But I don't memorize all these things, unfortunately, because I'm not a scholar type person. I'm like a seeker kind of person that tell me the truth, show me, and then I forget everything else. The word soup. I've read many books, but I don't remember all those. This is the proper way. The one that satisfies your questions, the path which completely destroys all your questions is your path. That is why there are so many paths. That is why there are so many kinds of seekers. Which one is true? None of them are true. That is the problem, because truth is subjective and arbitrary. So without getting into this kind of debate or prejudgment that this must be true, no, simply explore without any kind of bias in the mind that which is true, which is not, which is good, which is not. There is only one advantage of this, that this will expand the mind completely. This will make you very wise, very intelligent, very broad-minded. It does not matter which one is true. As soon as you expose yourself to the Guru field, you know this is all material that comes from the Guru field. These are the creations of Gurus, great masters. And you will learn something interesting in every philosophy. This is the advantage. So seeker explores. Yes, go ahead, explore. And if you find the answers to the mystery, you can tell others. You can write your own philosophy. Nobody is stopping you. Everybody is free to explore and tell others. This is how we know anything, because people explore and they teach others. Get the overview, see which is interesting, and you will always find something valuable in all the philosophies. But your path is that which solves your answers. Somebody on the path of knowledge is interested in knowing the nature of the self. That is the most important question for them. People on the path of knowledge, they want to know who they are. The rest of the things are unimportant for them. And only this non-dual philosophy solves this question. Other philosophies, they are hitting in the dark about this specific question. But yes, it can happen that the seeker has other important things to know first. What is world? What is this universe? Is it completely pre-planned? Somebody is controlling it. And there are other philosophies that will answer these questions and they will find them more satisfactory. But if your primary goal is to know who you are, then the best is non-dualism. Or sometimes we call it path of knowledge, because in India that is all that is considered knowledge, rest is not considered knowledge. This is simplification. So hopefully that will encourage you to explore other paths. Arvind is asking, do dual and non-dual philosophies contradict each other, or are they complementary to each other? You see that in the name itself there is contradiction, isn't it? One says dual, the other puts non in front of it. Not dual. Is it not a contradiction? Then you should look at what they propose. The dual philosophy says there are two truths. The existence is dual. And non-dual philosophy says the truth is only one. And that which appears as false is also same as that which is essentially true. This is non-dualism. The non-dualism does not say that there are two, one is false, one is true. That will become dualism, isn't it? It says it is one appearing as two. Completely different points of views, according to me. But you see, this is a field of philosophy. You can twist everything and make it complementary also. You can find 1 or 2 points from here and there in this book, and you can say, look, this is complementary. It is possible to do this in philosophy, because philosophy is a very flexible subject. You can interpret anything in any way, and that is good because it cannot be rigid. If something becomes rigid, then there is no possibility of progress or development there. So those who want certain knowledge, like, look, this is true, this is how it is, this is how it will be, they should study the dual philosophy, dualistic, not non-dualistic, dualistic, because the answers are very certain there. What happens in non-dual philosophy is you are left with no questions, but you are left with no answer also. You become agnostic. The non-dual philosophies also say that the knowledge is not possible. But the dualistic philosophy says knowledge is possible, this is the knowledge. So sometimes people prefer that because it is more certain, isn't it? A non-dual does not give you anything, and dual gives you everything, whatever you want. It can give you more than what you are right now. It can make you more. It is progressive, isn't it? But non-dual does not give anything. It takes away everything. And then it says, you are everything. Then it says, everything is empty. So the seeker is left with usually very confused mind. And that is why we say this Advaita philosophy is not for everybody. It is very clearly said in your program, this is not for everybody. I mean, you can drop the word everybody. It is not for even special seekers. You can assume like this, there are 100 seekers in the world, 10 prefer non-dual philosophies. I am saying out of 10, 9 are not suitable for whatever we are teaching. Only one in 100. This is a rough example. The actual figures are 1 in million, 10 million. Why is that? It is very difficult to grasp. Although it is so simple that you can say it in one word, one sentence. But that becomes very difficult because simplicity is not accepted by a complicated mind. And many seekers, they have a very complex mind, very intellectual. They love complexity. Draw the table and draw the diagram and make the equations, and yes, 2000 concepts are there. They memorize everything, who said what. That is what they call knowledge. I say there is nothing to know. It is all empty. It is all one. Nobody likes this. So it is advised that don't come here. Or if you want, you can listen to it, but decide later what do you want. And then many people, they go and study the dual philosophies, and there they find satisfaction. It happens. They do not reject the non-dual, but they say it is too much for me and it leaves me nowhere. My goals are somewhat different. They say like this, I did not want all these things. Is it true or not? Guru says. Probably you are saying true. Whatever you are saying is true. My logic says yes, whatever you are saying is true. This is the final truth. But I don't want this. They say like this. It is unacceptable. So what will you do with the philosophy which tells you the truth but you don't want it? What will you do with it? That is why there are no practices, no prescriptions, nothing. So yes, some of the philosophies, they complement each other. Like I have seen one thing, and idealism is very much in line with non-dualism. They complete each other. However, idealism independently is very boring. And there are more things like this. Like the tantric philosophies, they resonate very nicely with Vedic philosophies. They never say that, no, there is not one. Tantric will never say like this. But tantrics will say, I'm interested in that which is appearing. That is more important. That is more interesting for me. All the fun is there in illusion. And the non-dual person says, yes, a lot of fun is there in the illusion. It is a play. So why not? So like this, you can say they are complementary. Although complementary is not the right word here. but they go together. They dance together. However, there are some philosophies which are like opponents of each other. They oppose the views, completely opposite. Like idealism and materialism are completely opposites. Or you can say Sankhya and Shiv, completely opposite. So on, you see, so on. And if anybody is interested, they should learn an overview of all the points of views in the world, because it is a human creation. Philosophy is a creation of humans. It is not perfect. Every philosophy will have some good points, and every philosophy will have some kind of disadvantage. You can draw a table like this. Intellectual people love these kind of things. Comparative study, and PhDs will be awarded to you. I'm not joking. If you can do like this, because it is very rare. It is very rare to do this kind of studies. Highly intellectual people, very studious people, they do it. The parallels between Mahayana Buddhism and whatever you say. Then PhD is guaranteed. Remember, seekers are very few in this world. Philosophers are the rarest kind of creature. And those who study all these things, they are very rare. 1 in 10 millions. So a PhD is guaranteed, yes. However, if you are not simply an academic student, you are a real seeker, then you won't bother about these things. You will go directly to that which is your life goal. A seeker or a spiritual person is the correct word, is very practical. This was said in this book in this year 2000 BC by this unknown fellow. He does not care, he or she. He knows what is his life goal. This is spiritual stuff. I want this. Gets it. Done. So I am that kind of person. I know what I want. I found suitable path. I got it. End of the story. But I know, yes, others do not have this kind of goal. Others have a scattered mind. They don't know what they want really. So for them, the good option is to explore. Keep exploring till you know what I want. And if dualism is all you want, and do not care what is true, what is not. Do not give more importance to whether knowledge is possible or not. These things are useless. Get what you want, and then your life is solved. It is a successful life. Your pre-allocation is completed. You progress spiritually. This is called practical spirituality. Instead of studying each and every book in the world and debating on who is right, who is wrong, that is stupid. Very stupid. It is all human creation. There will be good and bad things in every path. So I told you what is bad in non-dual path, or the path of knowledge. Non-dual path of knowledge. It is not for everybody. This is probably the highest disadvantage of this path. It is not very attractive to everybody. That's why you can see only 2 or 3 people in our program. Half of them will disappear. They cannot understand. Many of them will leave it because it was not their life goal. They simply came here to explore. What is that? What is this thing? And they will go away. Still, if I can guide one person in my whole life, it will be considered success. Because probably there is only one person who wants this. And that also from me. It looks like total waste of effort, but it is worth doing. You can see in ancient times, and the Guru did not have 100,000 seekers, students. 3 or 4, 10, 20, like this. Somehow things have changed here now. The real Guru is the one who has 1 million followers. Otherwise, he is not a real Guru. This is how it has become. But in the spiritual field, it is always like this. One person teaches 1 or 2 people in their whole lifetime. This is how rare spirituality is. Anyway, it is all good. So whatever attracts you most, whatever fulfills your life goal is recommended. Do not try to see who is doing what, which Guru is teaching what. Try to know what you want. Otherwise, the life will be wasted in the sea of books. Words, they are words. Philosophies are words. It is called Vad in Sanskrit. Vad comes from Vad, which means to speak. He speaks like this. This is what philosophy is. Anyhow, let's go forward. Narendra is asking, the non-dual philosophy where the world is real causes attachment to things and the person finds himself in suffering. Probably you want to say dual philosophy, because I don't see any non-dual philosophy where the world is real. Is there any? There can be, who knows? But that is, the other part is true, that attachment to anything causes suffering. That is the central teaching of Buddhism also, and many paths. It does not matter whether that thing is real or not. Attachment can happen to it. Attachment can happen to anything. Real, unreal does not matter. Probably the person is attached without caring about whether it is real or not. I can give you some examples like movies. Are they real? No. But people get addicted to that. Probably nowadays nobody is addicted. People are addicted to YouTube these days. But that is not real. There are pictures appearing on the screen. It is not even useful. It is simply entertainment. And then there are attachments of different kinds, where people are attached to ideas in their mind or an image of somebody which is in their mind, but that somebody is not exactly like their imagination. They are attached to that thing. Can you believe it is possible? You can study a little bit of psychology for that, psychology of attachment, and you will find that it is possible to get attached to imaginary things or to totally negative things. Like there is some disease. I should not say all these things, but today the questions are not coming. Nobody has any question today. So let's go a little bit off topic on the topic of attachment. It is not totally off topic. So there is a mental disease where the patient is attached to their abusers. The one who abuses you, you get attached to that. You want that. And that is a disease, yes. But can you imagine? It is possible. Usually what happens is something is real in the world, like objects or people or jobs or whatever you see, money, and it is positive. So it is very natural to get attached to that. But attachment is some kind of mental program. It is possible to add anything into it. You can get attached to it. Not only positive things. Where is the logic now that attachment causes suffering? The logic is very limited here. People get into attachment. If it is causing suffering, it is okay for them. Can you see now? Can you see it is some kind of mental distortion? Is it really a mental distortion? And now from the non-dual point of view, we can comment that it is not distortion. It is happening like this. Actually, somebody from a very radical non-dual point of view will say that it is normal. It is normal. Everything is an attachment. They will say like this. Everything is an attachment. Not only positive things, negative things are also attachment. It is a negative attachment. So somehow it is all okay. Because I think everybody knows this, that attachment causes suffering. But what will they prefer? Attachment with suffering. They do not want a boring attachment where there is no suffering and no happiness also. Because the happiness and suffering, they come together. They are dual. They are always together. But they want that attachment, that experience. They want it. Why? Because otherwise it is boring. Otherwise the life, nothing happens in the life. Isn't it? Isn't it true? So fully knowing that it will cause a very spicy up and down kind of experience, people dive into it, including philosophers. There is no logic. There is no logic in the universe or existence. It is completely illogical. And the logic is a small part of what is happening. So I gave you a now larger point of view. This one statement that attachment causes suffering is a small part of whole attachment issue. It is just one line in the whole book which you can write on attachment. So how did that happen? Non-dual philosophy says this, and how do I got into this much detail? Because I studied different philosophies. That's why I said, if you study all the paths, not all, many of them, important ones, you will get a broad point of view. If you study only one, you will repeat only one line whole of your life, thinking that it is true. Nothing is true. There are simply points of views. Radha is saying blind beliefs. Simple is not true. Yes, correct. It is also not logical, isn't it? Why can't the simple be true? Opposite can be said, is valid. Complex can also be true. Complex things can also be true. Only a mathematician knows these things. Mathematician says that does not matter the equation is complex or simple. If it is true, it is true. However, from the point of view of non-dual philosophies, if something is complex, there is a chance that it is not true. It says that the truth is the simplest. Simplest is the truth, and the truth is simplest. When you cannot reduce it more, when you cannot go beyond it, when nothing remains to know, that is the truth. And this philosophy says like this, our non-dual path of knowledge. So from path of knowledge point of view, it is a blind belief. But from other philosophical point of view, it will be a valid statement. How can you say simplest is the truth? My logic says something else. They will say like this, isn't it? Perfectly okay. It is perfectly okay. So what happens is people come on path of knowledge and it is simplified so much that it is difficult to believe that this can be true, because their past bias says it cannot be this simple. Yes, it is a simplification because this instrument is complex. The mind is very complicated, very complex. So it does not give up so easily. It says, tell me more. No, it is unknowing. No, there is nothing to know. It is no. That complex mind will say, it is like a caveman philosophy. Only cavemen will say like this. In ancient times, people used to live in caves and they had a very simple philosophy that rain is caused by rain god and the fire is caused by fire god, lightning by this god. Very simple. And they were happy people. They will say, your non-dual philosophy is like this, primitive. Everything is one, nothing to know, go home, sleep peacefully, you are bliss. No, it is not like this. They will say, they will argue. The truth is complicated and we'll never know it because we are humans. One day I'll become something. One day I'll get the proper intelligence after reading so many books. Then I'll know. So they reject it. It usually happens when that person, seeker or student, does not question their own beliefs and bias. They question others, but they do not question their own. They're blind towards their own biases. And again, you can see now why very few people are in this path, because nobody wants to check their own blind beliefs. A path of knowledge does not tell you who is saying what. Path of knowledge is asking you, look what is inside you. Look what have you assumed? Have you checked? It is kind of personal thing here. So guru and student, it is very, very intimate personal matter now. What is inside you? Show me. And the guru will then put a question mark because the student cannot. He is already too blind. He is already in darkness. He cannot see anything. So the job of the guru is to show what you are. That is why it is complicated. Nobody wants to look at what they are. They want to see who is telling the truth and what is my advantage. What will I gain? I am perfect. Something is wrong in the philosophy. And that is why surrender is needed. And then it is very easy. Then the guru will say, is it true? Will the experience appear without the experiencer? Simple questions are asked because this is very simple. Truth is very simple. And that it simply falls away. What do you get? Nothing. When you get nothing and everything that you accumulated goes away, nobody is happy. This path does not make you happy. This will not make you great. And so nobody likes it. So it is for those who want their own growth, their own spiritual growth, and are not really interested in what is true, what is not, who says what is written in which book of which country, which ancient philosophy. No, they are not interested in all this. It is all self-centered, which means good in a good way. Their goal is to be centered in the self, to abide in the true nature. If that is the goal, then this is the perfect path. Radha is saying it is like before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It is a very famous saying here. People will say, if whatever I am doing now will remain after all this trouble and this program and the exam and all this hard practice, I'll remain the same. I'll do the same thing. Then what is the use of doing it? That is the logic they use. Logic has its advantages, but this kind of logic is a problem, isn't it? That's why a seeker is somewhat crazy. Not only logical, they are crazy. They will say, I'll do it anyway. They say like this, I want to know and that's why I'm here. Teach me. No, nothing will be gained. You just chop wood. It's fine, they will say. You are my guru. Whatever you are doing is perfect. You are also doing that. No problem. Just tell me what you know. Highly curious. But those who are very logical and practical, like, what will I get here? And they do not like it. And they do not come. They simply leave. And there is a problem here that if you do it forcefully, like you show them that you are wrong, it is possible to show anybody that they are wrong in one sentence. The path of knowledge is very advanced actually. One sentence is enough. And they don't like it even a little bit because it is like a personal attack. Especially those who are not surrendered. If you tell them, you are thinking something wrong, that means you are wrong. And immediately they become defensive. How can you say I'm wrong? I read 50 books on this subject. I'm the expert. I have this PhD, ABCD degrees. And then it becomes impossible. So those who want to cut themselves into nothing, those who want to destroy what they are, they enter here. It is very difficult. Okay, Arvind is asking, no questions means what? Lack of curiosity or becoming agnostic in true sense? Initially, if there are no questions, that means the person does not want to know. There is no knowledge also because it takes little bit of knowledge to ask a question. They keep asking something which is out of topic, like worldly issues and so on. And that is not called curiosity actually. Your question should be on spiritual topic, path of knowledge. Then it is called curiosity. If you keep asking something randomly, that is not curiosity. That falls in the category of no question. So if it is like this, that means there is no curiosity. Once that which is important is known, there is no desire to ask any question. There can be something. How is this true? What is this man saying? What is that guru saying? The mind can bring questions. But after knowing what is important for you, after it is completely proven, established, beyond doubt, then the desire to get the answer becomes very less. But there can be questions about other things. How to teach, who is the right person to accept it as a student, or how should I do my daily routine, my daily life, how should I live my life. These kind of questions can be there. But just like I said, they are off topic. It is not on topic. It's not a spiritual subject. It will not be called non-agnostic. He is still agnostic, but there are questions that are outside of the subject. So the main point here is, what do you want? If you don't have it, there will be curiosity. There will be questions. Once you get it, there will be nothing. Are there any questions on that which you want? That is important. There can be questions on something else, you see. A person can be curious about all the other things except the path of knowledge. It is possible. But we still say that he lacks curiosity about self-realization. Something like this the Guru will say. No, sir, I'm very curious. I want to know what is on the other side of moon. I want to know what is on the other side of sun. I want to know what is in the bottom of the ocean. The Guru will simply hit his head. I don't want such student, he will say. You are curious, but I don't have the answers. Even in our program, sometimes people join it, but they don't have any question about path of knowledge. They think that this person who is teaching is like a Google, encyclopedia, Wikipedia. Now, tell me what is the meaning of this word? Like AI, chatbot, this Guru. Now, tell me what happens in this Tantra, which mantra? Tell me how to get a girl. You see, I have seen these kind of people join the program after doing all the analysis and advanced analysis and you see Brahma Gyan, oneness. They ask these things and they say, I'm very curious. But no, it simply means you don't have any question. And those who came for self-realization and they get it, they lose all the questions, even though they do not know anything about anything else. But it is not worth asking. It is useless. So agnostic about what? That is very important. Agnostic about what? Curious about what? Nana is saying it is subtractive path. Correct. It is very unique. Although you become everything. You can understand it by a simple example. Take a white paper and draw a circle on it. You put I there, I word inside the circle, capital I. Now you say whatever is inside the circle is me. This is called ego, limited self. Now what the path of knowledge does is it removes the circle. It erases the circle, takes a eraser, erases the circle. The I is still there. It's not a big thing, isn't it? I can be there. But now the I cannot say what I am. Or it says, yeah, the whole paper is me now. So was anything added? Did you become anything? What happened to self-realization? What was realized? Only this thing was removed. This circle was erased, which was wrongly taken as me. See, if that boundary is gone, that means you are unbound now. You are infinite. So it simply shows that you are not. It simply shows that this thing which you think you are is false. That's why nobody likes it, isn't it? That's why surrender is important. That's why curiosity, real fire to know who am I is important. Otherwise, you'll keep asking something else. How to decorate this circle more? Which color circle is better? How can I have a good relationship with this other circle around me? You will keep asking all these things. And the Guru is not really interested. The Guru is interested in deleting the circle completely. And it makes sure that it should not come back again. Now, that is why nobody likes it. The ego is very strong. Okay, Neelam is asking, in dualistic paths, the separation still remains. So can suffering still be eliminated in those paths? Yes, suffering is a state of mind. So there can be many ways to eliminate the suffering. The very interesting thing is that on the path of knowledge, the suffering is not eliminated. It is shown that it is false. It is not mine. Now, whatever you call as suffering is okay. It can stay there. It is a part of the dream. Or if you don't like dream, it is a part of the movie. What happens if you remove the suffering from the movie? The movie will become really boring. Nobody is fighting. Nobody is arguing. No adventure. No bullets are fired. No countries are attacking other country. It is a very boring movie. On the path of knowledge, we are not really eliminating the suffering. We are eliminating the one who suffers. It is simple. Like I said, it is so simple that people don't want it. But it can be eliminated in other paths. It is possible. Like materialism can eliminate the suffering by satisfying all your material needs. If the suffering is due to materialistic things like money, house, clothes, if that person gets it, no suffering, isn't it? No suffering. If there is a disease, yes, use the medicine. It is materialistic completely. No suffering. So it is eliminated, isn't it? But there is only one trick there, one catch. That elimination is not permanent. Why it is not permanent? Because everything is impermanent. Because something else will happen, it will come back in another form. So what to do? You eliminate it again, you see. There's nothing wrong in that. If you find a good method to remove it, yes, remove it. Let us say your neighbor is causing suffering. What is the solution here? Path of knowledge. No. Path of knowledge will not eliminate your neighbor. It will say, neighbor is also you. Now the suffering is still there. You buy some other house, money is the solution. What if you get another person there who causes you double suffering? Now, is the money solution really? So like this, it comes back again in some other form. That is why path of knowledge says that you will be established in permanent bliss. It says nothing about neighbors and other people and other things. It says nothing at all. Will they be all removed? Will they all go away? No, never. It keeps happening. The one who is running away from suffering and running after pleasure is gone. Actually, it is not gone. It is still there. But it is like a character in the movie. Now it does not matter. How many people want this? I have seen that who say, I am on the path of knowledge. They also don't want this. They also want the suffering to be really gone. What do they say? Usually they use these words. It is all intellectual knowledge. Nothing is changing in my life. They say like this. They use the word intellectual because it is really intellectual. The problem is in the intellect. That you think that there is suffering and it can be removed and it will never come back. It is stupidity, isn't it? So when somebody tells you that, look, the problem is the one who is suffering, it is also not real. And they say, oh, it is intellectual. You are telling me something which is written in this book. Why did that happen? Nobody wants to look at themselves. They are searching outside. They are searching for elimination of suffering outside. That is the problem. And the path of knowledge addresses the root cause of suffering, which is not knowing who you are. Still, it does not go away. It simply changes the color. Now it is like a dream. Is it okay to suffer in the dream? And everybody will say, no, it's not okay. That's why you get nothing at all here on the path of knowledge. It is not something to be gotten. It is something to become. Have you become that which does not suffer? There is no pleasure also, isn't it? There is no happiness also. If the suffering is taken away, the happiness is not defined. Happiness is opposite of suffering. If the suffering is absent, happiness is gone. So this absence of suffering and happiness is called bliss. The word is a little bit unfortunate because it is very neutral. You won't be happy also. Or the play of suffering and happiness will continue as it was. Nothing needs to change. But that ignorance is gone. That is happening to me. Now it will be replaced by knowledge that it is happening on the screen. However, that thing which suffers and becomes happy is still there, but it is on the screen. Very simple, isn't it? Just a tiny difference. Everything is same. Does not give you anything really. When the suffering, that thing, your neighbor, your job, or your partner, whoever was causing suffering is gone, then you can realize, then you can come in awareness. Yes, it was a dream. It was all false. That much is the gain, you can say. It does not create an impression on the memory, a negative impression. And that is good from the psychological point of view. Like this, you can try to find something which is nice in the path of knowledge, but usually it does not do anything. You can get that little bit of peace. And okay, yes, it was suffering, it was happiness, it's not mine, it's not happening to me. That will also happen when there is no suffering or happiness already. Then you will remember, I am that. While the drama is happening, you will be involved in that. The illusion is very strong, and this person is part of the illusion. So it is helpless, actually. So that person who was saying that it is intellectual, what they really want is some kind of magic. They want an occult path where they can do something to permanently get what they want. They want powers. So a path of knowledge is not against powers, but it says realize the truth. Then you can do whatever you want. Still the suffering is not gone. Suffering is an eternal truth. Some of the philosophies, they will say like this. And they also say that I know how to remove it. However, they do not remove the suffering. They remove the one who suffers. It is amazing, isn't it? It is really interesting. It is like saying, please give me free food every day. I don't want to do any work. Give me my favorite food every day. And the doctor comes, or whomever you are asking comes, gives you an injection, and your hunger disappears. Now you don't even feel hungry. What happened to that food? No need now. What happened to that desire to get food, not to work? It's useless now. The path of knowledge is like this. It removes the root cause. And with the root cause, all the good things are also removed, like food, and there is no tension of job now. You don't need to earn money, but you cannot eat also. You're not hungry. So root cause is ignorance. Suffering is not bad, and it is not good. So root cause is intellectual, and therefore the solution is intellectual, and nothing is gained. Okay, Arvind has a question. If we witness everything as it is, then actually there is no joy or suffering. It is only our mind which tags events as good or bad, which gives joy or suffering. Exactly, very good comment. The problem is mental, and therefore the solution is also mental, or you can say intellectual. I had the same view about suffering many years ago, because why will people join this crazy path, spirituality or something? It is very crazy. You will come here only if you are very curious or you are suffering. So I got tired of some kind of suffering. I said, what is the permanent solution? So I found the solution, and I wanted my old life back, because like Arvind said, no joy. So I said, suffering was not at all bad. It was not bad. What is the point of eating food which is nutritious but tasteless? No spices, no sweet dish in the end. It is integral part of what is happening. Remember, I am choosing a different word here. What is happening? I am not calling it illusion because nobody likes it. Nobody likes to call it illusion because it is real suffering, isn't it? So whatever is happening is actually not meaningful if both the colors are not there. It takes the white part and it takes the black part to complete the picture. Imagine there is a sketch on a plain paper, white paper. Without the dark pencil, that darkness, will there be any picture? Or if you make a completely dark paper, use pencil, black pencil to draw, is there any picture? So it takes both. Not only both, it takes a perfect balance of both, the good and bad, negative and positive, to enjoy the picture. And now this enjoyment that I'm talking about is a higher kind of enjoyment. You can say it is the enjoyment of the existence. Brahman is enjoying this play, they say on the path of knowledge, traditionally. Why it is suffering? Why it creates the suffering? Why there is joy? Why can't I remain like normal? No, you cannot. This is not human point of view now. This is the point of view, higher point of view, that yes, this is a kind of entertainment. And then the metaphor of the movie is very good. If the movie has no challenges in it, no struggle in it, nobody's good there and nobody's bad also. Who will watch that movie? Plus, there are no colors in the movie. Who will buy the ticket of this movie? Now you can understand why are you here? Why did you buy the ticket of this movie called Human Life? Why are you here? This is a higher kind of entertainment. Because we don't have any word in English, at least. We really don't understand what is happening. In Sanskrit, we call it Leela. The Leela involves good and bad. There is no Leela which is only good. There is no Leela where there is no suffering. And there is no Leela where there is no joy also. So what is happening is exactly what you wanted, isn't it? Nothing else can happen. Do you want to still eliminate suffering? Think about it. Nobody wants to eliminate this. What happens is after knowledge, after self-realization, this negative attitude towards suffering and the madness to get happiness is somewhat reduced. Somewhat. It is reduced, and that appears like bliss or peace of mind. The Leela is not over. In fact, this path of knowledge is a part of Leela. This is amazing, isn't it? Remember, this is happening in a dream. You are not listening to the truth. You are listening to the dream. There is no truth. It is all Leela. Entertainment of a higher kind. So, there is no point in removing the suffering because it is not there. There is no point in running after the enjoyment, joy, pleasure. It is not there. And there is no possibility of ending this because it is not your play, not human. Only one thing remains, that you surrender and it will finish automatically. Then later you can write a review. How was it? Like write the reviews of the movie. It is pointless, meaningless. No logic, nothing intellectual, nothing non-intellectual. The criteria of happiness, joy, or criteria of suffering, heavenly life, all stupidity. It's all stupid. Now tell me at least something, people will say. Something. No, the path of knowledge will not give you a place to stand. That is another reason why nobody likes it. Where do I stand? What do I do now? No, do not ask all these questions. Especially in the Zen tradition, which is path of knowledge. And they will call you stupid if you ask questions like this. Who am I? Stupid. The guru is very strict there. And yes, that person who is asking who am I, really stupid, isn't it? But we are somewhat lenient. We lean on the Advaita side. We are compassionate. So we tell you who you are. And that is worse than somebody calling you stupid. Because at least you are stupid there. Here, there is nothing to stand. There is nothing to hold on. Hopefully, nobody is getting bored. But if there are no questions, we can end today's discussion. Very good points. Very interesting matter. We'll continue next time. Hopefully, there will be questions on path of knowledge. Thank you, everybody, for attending today's satsang. Namaste.